This Tanko mobile video is sponsored by HipChat.
Hey there's Tanko. I'm here with Robert Call, who is the CEO of CloudDX and one of the founders. And your company is one of the finalists in the Qualcomm Tricorder XPRIZE, correct?
That's correct.
So you actually have the magic device with you today.
We do have an example of our Vitality Qualcomm Tricorder XPRIZE entry.
And it's right here, so I should probably just quickly show it. But tell me a little bit where you're at in the process right now of this whole tricorder adventure.
We need to be able to deliver a completely functioning, working tricorder by May 1st. So we're very close to that stage now. We have working models of all the parts of our system. We're now pulling them all together in a final form, and then getting ready to deliver that to the XPRIZE for evaluation.
So how long have you been working on this now?
We've been working on this for over 2 years. We first became entrants in the Tricorder XPRIZE at the end of 2012.
And so you're one of 10, right?
Yes, 10 finalist teams.
And so do you feel you're going to be the winner, you think?
We think we have a shot.
Okay.
And the reason we think we have a shot is because we believe that our Tricorder XPRIZE entry ticks the boxes that are required in order to be the official winner. We can do the measurements of the vital signs over a 72-hour period in a very comfortable way. We can diagnose 15 separate conditions using only computer software and our vital signs and our data inputs. And most importantly, we have a terrific design team who's really focused on the user experience, making sure that the people who use our tricorder just love it.
Great. So I noticed that you're using a mobile device as kind of the heart, the brain, as it were, potentially of your product. So tell us a little bit about that. My readers are really into mobile technology, so.
Sure. So the essence of the tricorder and all of our products at CloudDX are a combination of sensors that measure various things about the body and software running on mobile devices and also running in the cloud.
Gotcha.
So the mobile device is a bridge between the sensors that are on the body and the cloud. It's the interface the user works with. But most of the heavy lifting is being done in the cloud.
Gotcha. So you're sending data up there, getting some computational oomph behind it, and sending the data back to the practitioner who's doing the testing. So tell us about the different parts and how they operate and how they connect to the phone and how they go on the body, etc.
Sure. There's really 2 or 3 important parts to the tricorder. This is the continuous vital sign monitor.
Okay.
It actually is a collar that goes around your neck. Watch this. And these leads are ECG leads that rest on just below your collarbones.
Okay.
Gathering your heart signal, your ECG signal.
Yep.
And then there's a second sensor module that goes in your ear.
Okay.
This contains sensors that measure blood oxygen level and core body temperature. And then inside the unit, in the back where the computer is, there's also an accelerometer that measures your steps and your movement.
Gotcha.
And batteries and radios and so on. This system communicates with the smartphone through Bluetooth LE. It's also possible to build radios directly into the Vitality. So it's possible, for example, to build a LTE chip in so it can communicate with the cloud independently of the smartphone.
Gotcha.
So you're very comfortable if you're out jogging and you didn't want to have your phone with you. You'd be able to literally be logging your data to the cloud 24/7.
Cool.
One of the important features we have to offer with the Vitality Continuous Vital Sign Monitor is the unit has to be capable of measuring your vital signs for 72 hours in a row. No device in the world has that kind of battery life.
Yeah.
So we've invented a hot swappable battery system that allows you to change batteries on the fly and not lose the signal.
Show me that battery again. So you're basically carrying a bunch of those around with you, and you can hot swap them one at a time.
Correct. In fact, there's actually a third battery actually operating in the main unit. So you could actually have both of these disconnected, and you would still not lose the signal. It's designed to be very user friendly that way.
You probably have a finite amount of time, though, right?
An hour or more, though.
Gotcha. Can you take it off just a second and show us so I can get some closer ups? And so you get those 2 EKG sensors right there.
Correct. And on the back of those are dry ECG leads.
Gotcha.
So we don't need any sticky pads.
Wow, that's amazing. And then in the back, you get the sensor here that goes in the ear. So that's for temperature
and blood oxygen
level. And then what's in the back? Just the radios and the computer, right?
Yeah, this is the motherboard, the radios. There's
how does it charge?
It has a USB here.
Oh, okay, micro USB, perfect.
Yep. There's actually a haptic motor inside also.
Oh, cool.
That reminds you with a little buzz when it's time to change the batteries.
Gotcha. So let's go to the base. Maybe you can tell us a little more about that. So I guess that's kind of like your analysis of samples kind of device?
Yeah, correct. So really there's actually two ways that you interact with all the different tricorders in the Qualcomm Tricorder XPRIZE. In one instance, you're measuring your vital signs for 72 hours. That's part of the competition. So that system has to be something you can use for 72 hours in a row.
Right.
The other interaction you have is when you literally sit down and actually ask the device to diagnose your conditions. So I'll actually show you what that looks like. I'll start from scratch here. So the way it works is the software begins a session, you identify yourself just with your first name, and then it begins to ask a series of questions,
right,
so that it can identify who you are, and it creates a baseline for your health. So all these questions are then input into the system. It pairs with the Vitality Continuous Vital Sign Monitor, and then it begins to show your vital signs. So, for example, this is obviously not on my body.
You're
so
simulating it.
Pre-recorded data, but it measures heart rate, temperature, oxygen saturation, respiration rate.
Oh, cool! You get that too.
And blood pressure.
Awesome.
So we're continuously measuring blood pressure, or we would be normally. We're continuously measuring blood pressure using the sensor suite for 72 hours straight.
And so you're doing blood pressure primarily through the ear, correct?
Well, it's a combination of measurements. It's a combination of the ECG measurement, the SpO2 measurement. So there's a number of different inputs into that algorithm to allow us to generate a continuous blood pressure reading. We actually calibrate that reading with an inflatable cuff that comes with the system also.
Okay, I see.
So that's an important part of the system.
Gotcha.
And I'll show you one more piece of the system, and this is about to be out of battery. So, you know, this isn't very important. In order for this to be a true Star Trek user experience, you have to have the medical scanner.
Yes.
Now, we're not using subspace radio waves like they do on Star Trek. So, what we have invented instead is a very small, portable, high-resolution camera. What the camera does is the camera allows a physician, for example, to examine wounds, to make sure wounds are healing, or even to examine skin lesions and to be able to determine whether that's a melanoma, for example. Now, that I say physician.
Sure.
Qualcomm Tricorder XPRIZE, it's the software that's actually interpreting these things.
Gotcha.
So this is the true Star Trek, tricorder experience as part of our.
So why a separate camera? Can't you use the mobile device's camera? Is there some infrared kind of sensing on there or something specific?
It's two things. First of all, we wanted to have that user experience. Secondly, it's possible to use this with very inexpensive phones that don't have a camera.
Right.
The third thing is we've created a sort of an otoscope version that actually allows you to measure the inner ear.
That makes sense.
Look for ear infections and that kind of thing. So overall, the user experience needed to be refined beyond just the smartphone camera.
And this is also a Bluetooth connected device then?
Yeah, Bluetooth LE.
To the phone?
To the phone.
And so what else is in the base?
So the other thing that's in the base is the in vitro diagnostic system. And this is something that's really just a mock-up. But what's going to happen is you're going to be able to put a test cassette into the system, and it's going to be able to measure liquid samples. So a little tiny miniature blood sample, or a little tiny sample of urine, for example.
Right.
We're using 7 different unique proprietary assays. And we can diagnose things like urinary tract infection, we can diagnose anemia, we can diagnose certain cardiac conditions using lipid measurements. So this is a very refined piece of our overall tricorder experience.
So you've basically probably miniaturized some of the lab equipment that's commonly used in most labs in the Western world today.
Correct. We're adapting existing technology to give, first of all, a more consumer-friendly user experience, and also to refine it so that it uses cutting-edge technology in a unique and different way.
Cool. Well, thanks for the tour. That's pretty amazing. Is there anything else that the base does that you didn't cover?
No, I mean, it's got the main radios in it also.
Okay.
So the system can also communicate with the cloud.
Great, look at that. This is it, one of the tricorders for the Qualcomm XPRIZE. Thank you so much for the tour. It's really been helpful.
It's my pleasure.
I wish you good luck with the contest. And
for more information, please see our website, clouddx.com.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.